The Winter's Prelude patch note has just dropped, and with it, it contains information about the holiday events, and also a big change to the way that lower tier troops perform in combat against higher tier troops. So let's jump into everything in Winter's Prelude. Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and every time a patch note drops, I try to really sink my teeth into it as fast as possible and to let you know what's really important. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the latest and greatest news about Rise of Kingdoms. Let's get started with the Christmas event series, and from what I can see in here, we're probably due for a 7k gem event. Let me tell you why that is in just a second. First and foremost, there's a 7-day quest series, The Shining Star. We get this with pretty much every holiday event. From there, there's Flavors of the World. You visit the Bazaar of Revelry and try out all the delicacies the world has to offer. I'm not sure what event that kind of replicates, but the Super Sleigh. Okay, use Shining Stars to decorate your sleigh and earn rewards. Sounds to me like a 7k gem event where you got to collect a bunch of a thing by battling barbs, and there'll be a bunch of events that gives this stuff, and gathering on the map, and collecting in your city. And there will be a 7,000 gem tier of this event that gives very, very, very good rewards. You have to spend gems to unlock the rewards for that tier, but it's absolutely worth it. So if you haven't saved up your 7,000 gems, start saving. You have plenty of time. This goes in on the 20th. They're cutting it very, very close to the Christmas time frame, so you have some time to go farm up some gems, or at least hoard up gems however you're earning them, right? Up next, Winter's Gift. Brighten the winter night with stars and collect shining stars in exchange for rewards. Zenith of Power. The Zenith of Power city theme is obviously very, very powerful. The last time I participated in a Christmas time city theme, actually, I got this theme right here. This is a 5% skill damage city theme, Saints Halo. I suspect we're going to get an open field city theme, but people speculate all kinds of stuff. No one actually knows what this is going to be yet. I am hoping that we're not on the verge of getting 15% health city themes, because those are just like too OP. That's like way too overpowered for Rally and Garrison. They have been doing 15% themes, and which I don't particularly like power creep like that. But there is 15% themes. I have one of them. This is, I think, the last Zenith of Power they did was Archer Defense. So I think we get an open field theme, but who knows? I mean, it's anybody's guess as to what they will do. I do kind of hope they do something new and unique, but I'll cover that as soon as it lands. Just keep in mind, you're going to need probably in almost any continent, you're going to need like 40 million power of power gain to confidently sail into getting a placement for one of these things, which most people, it's just too stressful. You shouldn't even try to do it. Tempest Clash is on its way back, so we'll get some sea battles, and if you're interested, maybe I can have Negan join in for some Tempest Clash. I think he usually likes to do that, and I like to hang out with Negan. So let me know in the comments if you're interested in catching up with our old friend here. And arms training will be back. Don't worry, I'll have some guides, or some recommendations anyways, around the optimal sequence of skills to unlock on arms training Lohar. And if you wanted to get a jump start on that, I'll have a card up in the top for the last time I placed well in arms training Lohar. Now from here, the Sunset Canyon Tournament. Now, I'm going to spoil this by reading the last bullet point here. It says, the Sunset Canyon Tournament is only available to kingdoms in the preparation season. This is before the Lost Temple's even taken. So this is a tournament they're adding, I guess, just for new players. Unless I'm misunderstanding. But if you just zoom out on the map, you can see what season you're in. Preparation season is right up here, and it says, kingdoms in their preparation season with an internal struggle for control of the Lost Temple, right? So this is like pre-KVK Season 1. They are adding a Sunset Canyon tournament. It's a 3-week tournament. You're grouped up with 4 kingdoms. There's a week of preparation, a week of the main stage, and a week of the champion showcase. And the rules are exactly the same as Sunset Canyon. So definitely going to be interesting to see what kind of rewards they do there. But since it's only relevant to new kingdoms, I'll just move on to the next thing in here, which is improvements to the Season of Conquest. They have added a confirmation prompt when using a teleport in the Lost Kingdom. So now you get a warning. Are you sure you want to teleport onto another alliance's territory? I guess too many people got zeroed on coalition territory, but not alliance territory. If you're on your own alliance's territory in KVK Season 4 and beyond, you're safe. You're not rallyable when you're in KVK. But you can teleport onto coalition territory. I will say this is really a disadvantage for people trying to teleport into difficult spots. Hopefully there's going to be a menu option to just turn that off, because I actually don't want this. I want to rapidly be able to teleport wherever the hell I'm going. They've added the cutting edge buff to the first stage of Past Glory. This is a big one, folks. This is really, really big. So when you rebuild your Crusader Fortress, there's now this new buff, the cutting edge buff. If your troop attacks an enemy troop with a much lower unit tier, your troop will suffer far fewer severe wounds. Please note that this buff does not apply when attacking or defending a city. So, you've probably seen a number of short videos I made where I'm running away from T1s because nobody wants to dirty up their stats with T1 kills. But people run around with full marches of T1s using troop combinations that generally trade very well. So you're talking about like Attila and Takeda, you're talking about Pakal and Harold, and they're just grafing you for kills, okay? And the resource cost to heal the T1s is very low. So they end up trading really positive on resources, and the developers are basically saying, hey, that's dumb, stop doing it, which is why they've added this buff. Now, I hope that this is not a nerf to T4 versus T5s, but it sounds like it is a nerf, maybe. When they say much lower unit tier, I mean, T4 to T5 doesn't sound much lower to me. So we'll have to see the exact mechanics of this, but we are going to need to see if T4s are still going to be as effective against T5s. I don't know. That much lower language to me says maybe it's going to be fine. We've begun calculating governor ranged points. So your ranged kill points are now going to be separate. Ranged attacks can only attack or slightly wound units. However, if you manage to kill or severely wound an enemy's troop, for example, with a melee troop, while you're also attacking it with a ranged troop, you're going to earn ranged points. If you have any unit in doing ranged attacks, getting sevs, then they count toward your ranged sevs. I still can't fathom how I'm going to use ranged units and also try to have other units fighting in the fray at the same time. This feels like it's going to be challenging to do. But maybe it's not as challenging as I think. You can check your current range points in the kill stats section of your profile. Range points are calculated separately from your kill points. Range points will be calculated in kingdoms that have unlocked the formations feature, which is still not available in my kingdom, by the way. And they've added the Autarch Tavern and Vindicator Tavern. Now, this is a big deal. I don't exactly know what this is, but if you've earned Autarch or Vindicator status in the Lost Kingdom event, you will be allowed to recruit commanders at the corresponding tavern. Before you start recruiting, you can select your preferred commanders to increase your chance of recruiting them. I don't know if there's like a separate key that we get for this, or if it's just like a sovereign key that we use for this, but let me show you exactly what the Autarch and Vindicator statuses are. So here is a picture from one of the videos the developers released officially on the Rise of Kingdoms channel. The Autarch status is up top here. Your coalition occupied the Great Ziggurat, your Crusader Fortress is not occupied by an enemy camp, and you have been awarded an Autarch's testimony. We don't exactly know how that works yet, because it's not available to anyone in game, but that is the Autarch status. And then the Vindicator status is the top 8 alliances in the rankings will earn additional ranking rewards, which will be sent via in-game mail after the Lost Kingdom ends. So there's this Vindicator status as well, based on occupation points. So I don't exactly know how all of this works yet. Maybe a little bit more digging, and I could find some more information. But if you hold the Zig, then you might get an Autarch's testimony, which opens up for you the possibility of extra rewards. And now also with either Autarch or Vindicator status, you have access to some amount of commanders. It would be insane if they let you use gold keys, so I don't think that's a thing. Maybe they let you use some of your sovereign keys, which we'll see if that's actually a good use of those keys. But in terms of like the commanders they might give you access to, presumably now it's much more new commanders, or commanders that are newer to the game. I don't know if they'll give you the latest and greatest commanders, like, you know, Sargon is about to release and Tariq ibn Ziyad is about to release. I don't know if we'll be able to get the latest and greatest, so we'll see what sorts of commanders they let us actually have access to. For what it's worth, I don't think that these are going to be exclusive commanders. I don't think they're making new commanders that are available only here. That would be kind of insane. I don't think they're doing that. We'll see. But I think it's commanders that are already in game. I don't know that for sure. I don't know, man. If they're putting new commanders in there, that'd be nutty. I don't think they're doing it. Improvements to the beginner events. Added the Rebirth Ceremony event. So we mentioned this in our last update from the developers, their Q&A, that they were going to let you reset commanders. If you're in a very young kingdom, GG, I guess I should have started with that. You can reset one commander you own in the Rebirth Ceremony, resetting their skills, levels, and talents. Everything you spent on them is returned to you, only available for newly created characters. 15 days. If your character is 15 days or younger, you can do this. The interface of the Hero of the Returns event has been optimized to make exchanging emblems of loyalty easier. Again, this is new kingdoms. These are beginner events. So, doesn't affect most of us. I'd love if they had an option like this to reset a commander. I'm sure there are commanders, multiple, I would reset. Khan, I would reset. Edward of Woodstock. I'd love to have all those sculptures back. And every gem I put into those commanders. But that's not how it works. And hopefully, down the road, they've said they're going to make it so that you'll have uses for the skills on those commanders. Once we see it in game, we'll have a better sense of how that goes. Other changes. The Soroli Crisis. The effect of the selectable skill weakness has been adjusted. All right. For kingdoms that have unlocked the formations feature, armament recycling has been streamlined. That's fine. In the future, to maintain a level playing field in the Lost Kingdom, we'll be pausing all construction progress, durability, restoration loss, and cooldown times for extinguishing buildings whenever the servers are undergoing maintenance. Man, I mean, maintenance can just really throw off. It can really throw off the momentum in a KVK. So this is a big deal. No more dropping forts during maintenance. A maintenance fort, if you're lucky, you get that off. And then with building right before the freaking server goes down and boom, the whole thing is built and nobody had a chance to take it down. I think that's some of the greatest cheese in this game is a maintenance fort. So I'm actually very glad they're getting rid of that because you shouldn't be able to maintenance fort somebody. And this optimization will take effect after December 21st. So it's not here yet. It is, so for this patch, you still can drop a maintenance fort. They've added legend mode for events, including Ian's Ballad, Soroli Crisis, and Arms Training, which can be unlocked by completing each event's normal mode. Actually, this is really good. This is really, 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 really good. Beating legend mode will give you more rewards. I love more rewards. I hope it's not so hard that it's actually like really frustrating to do. Because let's be honest. Right now, Ian's Ballads, Soroli, Arms Training, I mean, it's all on farm status for endgame accounts. And I don't know that I want to spend lots of time doing Soroli. Maybe it will be more fun. Maybe this legend mode is actually like wicked fun and doing the same bosses every single couple weeks is going to just like feel really fun and refreshing and different than it does today. But some of this stuff is just farm status. So I do kind of hope that I don't know. It's not so tedious that we're like, F it, I'm just going to do the hell mode and collect my rewards and move on with life, right? And I will point out that they've only done this to Ian's Ballads, Soroli Crisis, and Arms Training. They have not done this to Golden Kingdom. Golden Kingdom is really the event that's like very time consuming for what you get from it. And I know a lot of people just like don't do it because they're like, man, they just don't want to spend the time to get the rewards. I can rush it in like 25, 30 minutes on my main. And that's, you know, not like really speed running it. Speed run, I could do it in like 20 minutes. And even then it's like, all right, 15 crystal keys and a few crates of materials. It's, you know, a lot of time for what you get. So I will be eager for seeing what hell mode is like. I will stream those when they're available, so consider subscribing if you haven't already. And as I mentioned earlier, if you want to start to prepare for Arms Training or you want to get just a little bit more of a look at Zenith of Power, there will be cards for you in the end screen to give you all the information you need.